Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
It is 6 o'clock here on this Thursday morning, and during the overnight hours, officers from all over Connecticut came to Hartford to take part in a procession for one of their own, a Hartford police officer who died in a crash involving a police cruiser.
Investigators have been at the crash site for several hours now, trying to piece together what happened. Another officer is in the hospital this morning.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Tim Lammers.
I'm Erica Arias. We have team coverage of the crash, starting with Fox 61's Brooke Griffin. She's live at the scene. Brooke, what do we know at this point?
Yeah, well, Hartford police have officially told us, unfortunately, one officer again is dead and one has very serious injuries. They are in the hospital this morning. Now, I do want to update you, if you've been watching with us this morning, this is the scene that we're looking at right now. The Hartford police cruiser that was involved and the gray sedan are both still here on scene. But within the last 10 or so minutes, they have officially brought in two different tow trucks. They've pulled these cars out. Now, if we are zoomed in to the police car, you can see that there is a significant amount of damage on the right side of that police cruiser. You can see that it is very smashed in. A lot of damage. The airbags seem to have also deployed as well. So we are getting a better look at what exactly may have happened here, but we've not heard from officers what the details are at this time. They haven't really released a lot of information to us, which is typical whenever we have scenes like this one, especially officer-involved death scenes. This is something that they really just pick through, comb through all of that evidence and really look at it before they share a lot of those details with us. But right now, again, what we do know is one officer is dead and another is injured after they were involved in a crash with another car. This is here in downtown Hartford at the Broad Street and the Farmington Asylum area in this intersection, if you're familiar with it. Now, again, that police car was run up on the grass there, and then you can't really see it right now, but the other gray sedan involved was smashed into an electrical box. We are still waiting for a lot of those details. They've not released the names of those officers at this time, but the one that is injured, they say, is in stable but guarded condition. Now, we also know that there is a suspect in custody, and while we don't have any information as to why exactly that person was arrested, that is another thing that we are still waiting to hear at this time. Now, again, if you do have to come out to this area this morning, at least at this point right now, they have Broad Street shut down from Capitol to Garden Street and Farmington and Asylum closed from Flower Street to the 84 overpass. Now, Connecticut State Police did take over this scene around midnight or so a couple of hours ago. Hartford police are still here as well. It's just a very heavy law enforcement presence all around this area of the Broad Street, Capitol Street, Farmington Avenue area right now. So just keep that in mind. You are going to have to make quite a few detours if you're trying to come into downtown this morning from this area. Now, I did also speak with the Hartford Police Department. They say that the chief is expected to talk with us, possibly the mayor of Hartford as well, Mayor Luke Bronin. They will be speaking with us later this morning to update us on what exactly happened here last night. We don't have a time on that, but as soon as we have any more information, we'll of course get that out to you. Tim and Erica, back to you.
All right, Brooke, thanks so much. We'll check back with you soon.
Okay, so now, about 90 minutes ago, that procession that we mentioned started at St. Francis Hospital to make about the 10-mile drive to the office of the Chief Medical Examiner's office in Farmington. That's where Lindsay Kane is right now. Lindsay.
Hi, good morning. Well, it was a massive procession line with a lot of support, not only from the Hartford Police Department, but other police departments from across the state, West Hartford, Plainville, Simsbury, just to name a few. Now, as you said, that procession from St. Francis Hospital in Hartford to here in Farmington at the Chief Medical Examiner's office, where the body of the officer that was killed was taken to the Chief Medical Examiner's office. Now, take a look at this video. You can see that procession dark and early this morning. Just a huge amount of police cruisers involved in this procession. Very, very somber. No sounds, no noises, just a lot of flashing lights. Definitely very emotional to watch and to see how quickly that support came together. Again, that procession coming from St. Francis Hospital in Hartford. Our Fox 61 cameras were also there as dozens of police cruisers lined the front entrance for hours overnight into this morning at the hospital. Officers were seen hugging and crying as they heard the news. They were praying not to hear that one of their own was killed. Now, the other officer involved in this crash remains in the hospital this morning. This was the scene at St. Francis. You can see the presence of police cruisers and first responders there. One by one, more cruisers continue to show up till the entrance was mostly filled. Just another emotional sign of support from the Hartford Police Department and Hartford first responders. Now, again, Hartford Police confirming to us one officer was killed. The other officer is in, quote, stable but guarded condition, according to police. This all after a crash late last night near Asylum and Cogswell Streets. Police say they do have a suspect in custody, but we're still waiting for exact details as to what happened. The roads involved remain closed this morning, and drivers should avoid the area. Now, as for that officer being treated at the hospital, we're still getting the latest updates on that officer's condition, and we'll bring those to you on air, online, and of course on Fox 61 Plus as we continue to follow the latest on the officer's condition. Live in Farmington this morning, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Hi, Lindsay. Yeah, hoping for an update on how that other officer is doing sometime soon.
Yeah, thanks, Lindsay.
Well, Governor Lamont has extended the state's severe hot weather protocol. It's now going to remain in effect through Friday at 8 p.m.
So residents can dial 211 to find the closest cooling center or shelter near you to escape the potentially dangerous weather conditions. And we're talking more about that in detail with meteorologist Matt Scott. A lot of schools getting an early release because of this heat.
Yeah, it's been tough. Teachers, students, everyone in between, suffering all together under some very hot, oppressively hot conditions, and that continues. So as long as that continues, those early dismissals will continue as well. Heat index between 95, closer to 100 today, as that heat advisory continues through tomorrow. Temperatures right now in the upper 60s to the lower 70s. That's about where your dew points are. So a little bit of fog, not a major problem out there, but it is the humidity, and as you can see, it continues to dance in oppressive territories. All this translates to our first opportunity for rain this week. It's not a great opportunity, but where there may be rain, and we're focusing primarily on the western border, there is a risk for some of these storms to fire up to severe levels. Storm Prediction Center has us under a level 2 just for like Salisbury over to Canaan, down through Kent, and then a level 1 for, let's call it, north and west of I-84, primarily down into Fairfield County as well. Here's the call for today. Temperatures getting to record territory, 90 to 95 across the board. Again, factor in humidity, it goes a lot higher than that. Bus stop forecast this hour, 72 degrees as the kids get off the bus. For many of them earlier than usual, we're looking at temperatures in the low to mid-90s. Full forecast details on the weekend, that's coming up. Let's also remind you that dismissal times for all school levels statewide are listed as follows. High schools dismissing at 10:30, middle schools 11 o'clock, elementary schools at 11:45. They do that so all the buses can run the same schedule, a similar schedule to what they have in the afternoon. Keep an eye on the bottom of your screen. All of the names of the schools conducting the early dismissals are there. For a look at that complete list, as always, you can go to fox61.com or download the free Fox 61 News app. There's a lot to talk about in the weather, in the roads as well. Let's go to Rachel Piscatelli. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Matt. We're going to start things off over in the capital city this morning, where we have those several road closures. So we're going to get you through those road closures so you know kind of where to go or where to navigate. Talking about those road closures now, this is going to be, or our first one rather here, we'll go Broad Street 2 is closed from Capitol Ave to Garden Street this morning, and that's going to continue towards... We'll zoom in to Asylum in Farmington from Flower to 84 overpass. So that's going to prevent you from getting onto 84. So some of the areas that you can go, detour Sigourney Street to get onto 84. You can also take Pulaski Circle to Whitehead Highway, and that'll get you onto 91. And then you can take some detours there to get you to 84. We have a tractor trailer crash on 95 northbound out by exits 51 and 53. The right lane is blocked over in East Haven. That's going to stretch back to exit 52. This is a live look outside at exit 53 where we have light volume, so it doesn't look like traffic is too tied up. Now we'll take you to Rocky Hill. We have another crash, 91 northbound out by exits 23 and 24. The right lane is blocked at the moment. We'll take a live look outside where we're starting to see heavy delays in the area because of that crash. We'll keep you posted every step of the way with another update coming up at 6:30. Tim and Erica, back to you.
Okay, Rachel, thank you so much for that update. Now, while we're talking about traffic in West Hartford, 2 people died in a crash on I-84 eastbound. State police said it happened around 8 o'clock last night, and it did involve more than one vehicle. You can see the backup that it caused. What you can't see, though, is that not only did they have to shut down the entire eastbound side of the highway between exits 44 and 46, they even had to shut down a couple lanes on the westbound side as well. Police said both victims eventually died at the hospital, and they are still investigating what led up to the crash. Hartford police are investigating after a man was shot yesterday morning. This was the scene at Park and Wadsworth Streets. Police haven't said who shot the man, but they did say he was taken to a hospital in a private car, and he is expected to survive. We don't know yet what led up to the shooting.
The woman accused of attempting to aid in a relative's suicide attempt is expected to face a judge today. Catherine Bleach is being charged with attempted manslaughter. According to an arrest warrant, she formed a pact with the victim after having a premonition that they were both going to die. Bleach allegedly purchased 125 tablets of seizure medication and then gave it to the relative. The dose was not fatal, and Bleach called police the next day when she found the relative still alive. Michelle Draconis, the woman accused of aiding in the assumed murder of Jennifer Dulos, is expected in court today for a pretrial hearing. Draconis was found not guilty in both conspiracy to commit tampering and tampering with physical evidence.
With respect to any
Police have confirmed that missing UConn student 18-year-old Betty Lee was found safe off campus. Lee had been missing since Sunday. Police started searching for her after her parents said that they couldn't get a hold of her. Now, it's still not clear what happened, but students told Fox 61 that they're happy she's safe.
We don't know any information, but I'm glad to know that she's safe and that they found her, so that's a good start. Hopefully she's all right. Hopefully, nothing major happened. But it really goes to show what they're all about and that they mean business, and when something like this happens, they take it very seriously. So I was glad to hear that and really glad to see that from them.
Now, this morning, we're also learning that UConn police contacted the FBI to help in the efforts to find Lee.
We still have plenty to get to this morning. President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, is still on the radar of federal prosecutors.
Why they plan to seek a grand jury indictment for Hunter Biden before the month is up. Stay with us here on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And of course, we will stay on this breaking news overnight after what appears to be a two-car crash has killed a Hartford police officer and appears to have seriously hurt another. We're going to continue our live team coverage with Brooke Griffin and Lindsay Kane.